All right. So we are going to talk about learning to lead yourself. And this is so important to be able to fully step into your leadership role, because if you can't lead yourself, you can't lead others. And a lot of you may not have ever really thought about what I'm going to talk to you about today. And I was so glad to have learned this from a really awesome leader recently. And I just knew that I had to share it with y'all because it is so, so important. It is literally where leadership starts. And so I hope y'all have some really good takeaways. But great leadership is not, it's not just about leading other people. It starts with self-leadership. So if you are not leading yourself, if you're not showing up every single day, if you're not having that self-discipline that you know you need, or you're not showing up to do the work that it takes to align with the goals that you have, your team's not going to follow suit. And we say all the time, lead by example, but I feel like a lot of people really don't completely understand what that means. And your potential to lead others is always a direct result of the way you lead yourself. If you're not partying, nobody else on your team's probably going to party. If you're not recruiting, why would they recruit? You know, if you're not showing them the value of recruiting, why would they see the value of recruiting? So if you're not sharing your story, why would they want to work? Because who's inspiring them if you're not inspiring them? So why is self-leadership so important? People are not just listening to what you're saying, they are watching what you do. And they're watching how you work, they're watching how you live, they're watching what you stand for. So don't just talk the talk, walk the walk. Put in the work, show them the actions, and lead by example. Also, by the way, if anybody wants to pop in, chime in, say anything during this, I am going to be asking y'all some questions. So if you want to either use the chat box or you can pop on and speak, I would absolutely love that. That is what we encourage on these leadership chats, is for everyone to share, because we can all learn from each other. But when I start asking y'all questions, definitely interact in the chat box. But if anybody wants to unmute and come on and talk, it would be amazing, because anytime somebody comes on here and talks other than me, it's like a game changer. It changes the whole vibe of the chat. Like it touches even more people and speaks to even more people. So it's important to hear everybody's stories. So how are you showing up, and also how are you loving on your team? That's a question to ask yourself. Are you instilling, or are you, like I said, working your business with discipline? Are you showing up every single day? Are you being intentional with what you're doing? Are you giving them a reason to trust and respect you? Or are they looking at you saying, well, she's not doing the things that she's expecting us to do, so why would we do that? They're not going to see the value in those things if they're not seeing you show up and do it, and it impacting your life and your business. So how are you showing up? How are you loving on your team? How are you making them feel loved and valued? If you're not doing those things, they're not going to trust you. They're not going to respect you. Think about a leader that you've had before, like a boss, or maybe some other type of leader, or a coach, or anything in life that you've had that didn't lead by example and didn't make you feel appreciated or valued. Like, yes, you'll show up to work for a paycheck, but are you willing to give your entire heart to that person? Are you willing to go the extra mile for that person? You're not going to be willing to go the extra mile for someone who's not going the extra mile for you. And then the same goes for our business, not just that, but are you willing to show up for your business if your leader is not? Probably not. So think about that. Think about how your teams may feel if you are not completely showing up in certain aspects of your business. So, how do we lead ourselves well? So there's two categories that I'm going to talk to you about. The first one is develop your leadership identity. And the second one is define your leadership initiatives. So the first one is going to be develop your leadership identity. Some of you see yourself as a future leader, or a developing leader, or like maybe one day I'll be as awesome as her. probably all of you have that mindset, because I know that I do still, I always have. And it's something that you can nip in the bud, but you've got to train yourself how to do that and train your mindset. But there is no such thing as that. You are a leader from day one. The day you started your business, you became a leader. You're a business owner. You're the leader of your business. You're the leader of your customers. You are a leader because you have at least one team member. So you are a leader, and you have to tell yourself that every single day. The things you struggle with your mindset, the negative self-talk that you struggle with, you have to repeat positive affirmations about those things to yourself every single day, or you're never going to believe it. You're never going to step into that fully. So if you see yourself as a future leader, or you're comparing yourself to other leaders, or thinking you're not doing enough, like, stop doing that. You're self-sabotaging, and it's not okay. It's very toxic. So like I said, I've always struggled with like feeling incapable as a leader and feeling like I'm not doing enough. And I think it stems from being a people pleaser. And I am a recovering people pleaser. I have learned, like, you're never going to please everybody. Not everybody's going to like you. I literally just got cussed out by somebody yesterday. I mean, it happens. So you're not going to please everyone, and that's okay. You want to weed those people out. You don't need those people in your circle or influencing you at all. So, but I have always struggled with comparison as a leader. You know, like, you'll look at another leader and think, well, they're doing all these things, I need to do all those things. But everyone is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. Everybody's business is different. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's work ethic is different, and everybody's leadership style is different. I have not always. So a few years ago, as a new director, I was able to do weekly trainings like this. And I would do a weekly training on my team page every single Wednesday night. Now, I don't work nights. I don't do nights anymore. I do once a month for these. I will do random pop-in trainings when I can. And I do once a month for team calls. And I do a quarterly director Zoom. So you have to, you're going to evolve in your business, and you're going to be in different places at all times. You have got to do what works for you, what brings you joy, what makes you happy, and what does not bring you stress. And stop looking at what everyone else is doing and thinking that you have to be like that leader. Because, like I said, everyone's different. You have to do what makes you happy and what works for you. And you have to put your family first. You have to make sure that you're not taking too much time away from your family to do things for your team. And your personal business always comes before your team. So it can be really easy to get caught up in leadership when you become a leader, because you're so worried about your team. But you have a personal business, and it starts there. If you're not taking care of your customers, you have no future team members. So be the voice and not the echo, Jessica said. I love that. Y'all need to write that down. So you have to embrace leadership as a part of your identity. So that's what we are talking about when we say develop your leadership identity. You have to embrace leadership as a part of your identity. That is who you are now. And it's not just something you do. Well, like I said, it's not something you do, it's who you are. So it's influence. Leadership is influence. Leadership is a mindset. It's a lifestyle. It's just like when I talk about recruiting. Recruiting has to be a lifestyle. Blessing people's lives has to be a lifestyle. If you're a leader and you really want to build a big business and you really want to reach the goals that you say you want to reach, you've got to make this a lifestyle. It can't be anything else. It has to be a priority. Yes, I love that. I'm seriously. Let me just put that on a sticky note. Be the voice and not the echo. Okay. All right. So when you start seeing yourself as a leader and speaking these positive affirmations over yourself and knowing that you are a leader and being confident in your leadership abilities and your leadership style, it literally changes you as a person. It changes everything about you in the best way possible. It changes your mindset. You start caring more. You think higher. You start planning ahead in your business. You start thinking 2-3 months ahead. Like, as a leader, you have to do that because there's a lot of reasons why. That's a whole nother thing. But you got to plan ahead in your business. Stop just planning 1 month ahead. You need to be thinking months ahead in your business. I mean, you can even do all your samples right now for the next 6 months if you wanted to, but you have to be thinking months ahead, because when you become a leader, you have more responsibility than just taking care of your customers. You know, like if you're wanting to plan things for your team, if you're wanting to do anything like that, you've got to be thinking ahead. You got to be on top of it. So, and you're only going to do that with systems. Otherwise, if you don't have systems for that, you're going to be overwhelmed, because there's a lot to this business when you're a leader. It's not easy. But if you don't have systems in place, you're going to shut down and you're going to be like, this is too much. I can't handle all this. But if you have systems in place, you'll be able to handle it. Eventually, you know, you're going to have an assistant. You're going to have to delegate things. You may already be delegating things. You may have kids that are helping you label. You may have husbands that are helping you deliver orders. You may have kids or a husband that's making your samples for you. Those are the things we don't have time for anymore as leaders. Like, do not have time for those things. I can't physically do those things anymore. So eventually you're going to have to delegate some things, but you've got to be focused on the things that matter in your business as a leader. And that is building relationships and making people feel valued. That is what it all boils down to. So I love what Brittany said. She said, I can remember being so afraid to be a director because I felt like I wasn't ready, but I remember that too. I remember that she was so scared to promote to director, y'all, like so scared. She said she felt like she wasn't ready, but I realized you'll never be ready if you sit and wait. You have to just do it. And guess what? Nothing changed. I stepped up and got my crap together, but I knew that having a director mindset was already in me. Just had to channel it. Yes. And I knew that, y'all. When Brittany Bartow joined, I told my husband, it was like still her first 70 days. And I was like, this girl right here is going to be a director. And then she came to SFR and I was like, that's the girl that I said is going to be a director. And look where she is at now. She stepped into that calling and she quit her job. Like, she went full force, and look at her. I mean, she has just, it's inspiring. It's so inspiring. Every one of y'all inspire me every day. I hope y'all know that, because like a lot of days y'all are why I keep going. And that's what your team needs to be for you as a leader. You'll never be ready. Like, I still don't know what I'm doing, but it is what it is. I personally develop every single day, and that is so important. I think I have that in my notes somewhere, but that's so important. If you're not personally developing as a leader, you're doing it wrong, because it's not optional to personally develop as a leader or to learn new things in your business, but it is not optional to personally develop when you're a leader. If you need to write that down, write it down. It's not optional. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So let's see, where did I leave off? Oh, so I was in the middle of talking about when you see yourself as a leader, how it changes you. So it changes your mindset. You start caring more. You love people more. You want to lead by example. Like, you know that there's no other choice, that you have to show up for your team. If nothing else, if you don't even show up for your family or whatever your goals are, show up for your team, because they're watching you. And this is about blessing other people's lives. We don't just recruit people to bless their lives and then don't show up for them every day. It doesn't work like that. Their life is not going to change if you just recruit them. Once you start leading them and loving them and building a relationship with them and sharing your story with them and inspiring them every single day, that is when it happens. She said, don't be a Casper sponsor. That's awesome. Okay. So, like I said, you have a responsibility and you take it seriously. You're not just working in your business, you're working on your business. You care deeper. It becomes a passion. It becomes a calling. That is what leadership is for me. it is my purpose. It is everything. Like, I know that I'm not just leading a team. I am being a leader in the aspect of showing other people what is possible in this business and how their life can change. I'm being a leader in the aspect of helping everyone in Cincy that I can possibly help. That's why I have a YouTube channel. I put all of our trainings on YouTube because I know that other people in Cincy don't have what this group has. Y'all are blessed. I'm not even going to lie. We have so much training and resources and leaders who care about you and love you, even if you are not in their downline. We have that here. And that is why I share everything I do on YouTube, because I have so many consultants. I had a consultant come to me yesterday from Australia and was like, thank you so much for everything you share. I loved your SFR video. I share your YouTube videos with my team. And I was like, I needed to hear that yesterday. But seriously, like, love people, just love people, and make it your mission to just help people. So, and we'll talk a little bit more about your mission, but so yeah, dig into it, figure out your mission. So many people only talk about your why, and like a lot of people talk about your why. Everybody talks about your why, but a lot of people don't talk about your mission. Like, what is your actual mission? And what was the girl that talked at SFR? I don't know her. I don't remember her name, but her speech was so good. And this is like a lot of what she talked about was figuring out your mission. And your mission is everything to your business. Plaster it on your mirror. Say it to yourself every single day. And same goes, like I said, for positive leadership affirmations. But when you figure out your mission, it changes everything, because you're not just living by Cincy's mission, you're living by your own mission, something that you stand strong in and you truly believe in, and nobody can stop that. Nothing can stop that. Once you fully step into that leadership role and you fully step into a strong mission and you have big dreams, like, all of that is the formula to success. So, because like I said, nothing can stop you when you are laser focused on something that you truly believe in. So my mission personally is to empower and inspire women to step into their purpose, grow into their best selves, and live their best life. I never knew that I was passionate about this until it started happening for me. And when it started happening for me, I was like, how could I not share this with everybody? How could I not? Like, that would be so selfish of me if I didn't share this with everybody. And so that is what I'm most passionate about in this business now, is the leadership aspect. And I was not a confident leader when I came into this business. Literally, I told my husband I didn't want a team. I told him I joined for the discounts, the discounts mainly, and the free stuff, because we were broke. So I loved Cincy, and I was like, I can't buy this. I can't buy a $30 tub of washer whiffs. We can't afford that. So I was like, okay, let me join, and just to get a discount. And then I was like, man, this stuff's awesome. And, I was telling everybody that, and it started selling, and I did $2,000 my first month. And I was like, And so once I realized the possibilities with this business, I realized, like, I have to share this with people. I can't say anymore that I don't want a team. Like, I didn't want a team because I thought it was something totally different than what it is. I didn't understand the blessings of this business. I didn't understand the culture of this company yet. There was a lot I didn't understand yet. I love that. I'm reading the comments. Yeah, I mean, literally God knew what he was doing, because here we are. But it's crazy how things can change. It really is. But so that's my mission. You need to figure out your mission. You need to figure out what you can stand strong in and what you believe in and how you want to impact the world through your business, and run with it. Like I said, plaster it on your mirror and read it every single day, or put it on your desk, like on a piece of paper or a whatever. Put it on your dream board. Yes, Cassidy, people over paychecks. So number 2 is define. Why can't I say define today? I keep saying divine. Define your leadership initiatives. So we went over defining your leadership. How did I word it? Identity. Define your leadership initiatives. So stop doing the easy things and start doing what is right and what you're supposed to do, what you're expecting your team to do. Do the things that you're expecting your team to do. Expecting your team to do things you are not doing will never work. It all starts with you. Examples. Get the systems that you know you need in place and stop putting it off because it's the easy thing to do. Because it may be the easy thing to do right now, but when your business grows to a group of 1,600 people, you're going to be really wishing that you had those systems in place. So imagine how big my business is, how many team members, group members, directors, star directors, leaders, certifieds, like all the people I have under me, and then think about my customer base. Like, I couldn't function or have a life without systems. And that didn't start when my group was this big. It started when my team was like 100 people, or, I had a group of 200, my team was 100. It started then. I started getting overwhelmed real quick, because I had no systems in place. So stop putting off the things that you know you need to do, because number one, that is a sign that you don't have the self-discipline that you need, and you need to fix that. But also, how can you tell your team that they need a follow-up system, or they need a tracker for whatever, and then you don't even have the resource to give to them, or you don't even do it, so you can't even coach them on that. That's another thing, is you can't even coach your team members until you have your crap together, because you're a leader, and that is why you're a leader. Your job is to lead. Your job is to work your business the way you're supposed to work it. So you can't coach people. That's like my husband would always say in the Army, that there were toxic leaders. That's like being a toxic leader. You can't coach somebody on something you're not doing yourself. Stop making a flyer or making samples to avoid doing your customer follow-up. Does anybody do that? I've done it. I still do it. I'm not going to lie. That's why I say this stuff. Do you do things that are not income producing just to say that you're working, and so you don't have to do the things that are actually going to make you money that you don't necessarily enjoy doing? Like, maybe you don't enjoy follow-ups, or maybe maybe you're scared to go live. So you're like, oh, I really need to do this so that I can avoid doing that. I know y'all do it. Okay, so anyway, stop putting off things that you know you need to be doing, because it's never going to move the needle in your business. It's not going to get you toward your goal. It's not going to lead your team by example. Jessica, that's awesome. She said she's just now doing follow-ups, and I've seen a difference. I regret not starting sooner. So y'all may have seen, like, lately, y'all may have noticed that if you're on my team page, that I haven't been posting how I'm working quite as much lately. And it's because I have just been behind the scenes, laser focused on customer relationships and like follow-ups and building new relationships, because I have parties going on right now. So I've been doing a lot more connecting with people, connecting with team members, just connection. That was my word for this year, was connect. And I realized real quick when I stopped connecting with people like I should, that my business was just like, ooh, this is not pretty. Like, I need to change something. So yeah, Bonnie, school's back in. So I've been doing follow-ups every day while I sit in the car line. So yeah, they're quick. They're so quick. I have now in place a 2-day thing, like every Tuesday and Thursday. It's a non-negotiable that I know I have to do Amy. So whether it's doing my customer follow-ups in there, or if I need to do team check-ins in there, whatever it is, Tuesdays and Thursdays are my days that I'm focused on that. I like to do Thursday because payday is usually Friday. And anyway, so Tuesday and Thursdays are my follow-up days. You need to have a system for that in place, or maybe you're doing your follow-ups every day. A lot of people do that. So next is to basically do what I've been saying this whole time, but it's something that you're actually going to do, is identify your weaknesses, and where you need to grow. Ask yourself, what specific trait do I need to develop in my leadership? And just choose one at a time. Because if you start trying to do all the things and say, well, I suck at this and I suck at this too, and I need to work on this, you're going to shut down and you're going to get overwhelmed. So ask yourself, what specific trait do I need to develop in my leadership, and just choose one. So you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be willing to sit down and reflect on yourself and stop saying things like, nobody wants to order, nobody wants to join, nobody wants to have a party with me. These are not things we should be saying as a leader, first of all. These are things that brand new consultants say. It's not something we should be saying. We should know that we are in control of who wants to join our team, who wants to party with us, who wants to buy from us. We have to, as leaders, sit down and reflect on ourselves and reflect on our business and look at what tasks we have been doing, and are they working? Are they not? What have I not been consistent at? What have I been not doing enough of? What do I need to change? There's a reason that nobody wants to party with me, and it starts with me. And we need to realize that. And if you're lying to yourself in your business, if you're not being honest with yourself and you're lying to yourself, you're never going to grow. You're never going to grow. So, reflect and tell yourself the truth. Don't lie to yourself, and be very specific when you're thinking about what these things are, what these traits are that you need to develop. So how can you develop that trait? What specifically do you need to grow in, and why do you need to develop it? And this is going to be an ongoing process. It's a forever and ever process. And that's why I say, as a leader, you have to personally develop. It starts there. And I mean, I am listening to a podcast pretty much 5 days a week, every week. Something that I need to grow in, or something, if maybe it's like, if I did a poll and asked y'all what y'all need help with in your business, maybe I'm listening to podcasts on things that I need to train y'all about. Like, where can I help y'all? What more can I learn to help pour into y'all? So it's not always just for myself, but I'm personally developing. I'm learning new things in my business. I'm hungry, and that's just who I am. And we all have to be that way. So ask yourself, here's some examples of things that you may feel like you need to work on in your business, what traits you need to develop. So comment, unmute yourself, whichever one you want to do, when you figure out if one of these is what you need to really work on, or if you have something else. So what do you need to develop in your business? What leadership trait do you need to work on? So some examples: you may lack discipline. And I feel like that is the main one for most people. You lack discipline. I have never lacked discipline. Like, I'm not that person. I am self-disciplined. I'm going to show up for my business every single day. It's non-negotiable for me. I know that nobody else is going to tell me that I have to go to work, so it's up to me. But it also makes a difference when you love what you do, because when I was doing online college classes, it was a lot harder for me to make myself show up. But now that I have a passion and I have figured out my mission and like what I want to do with this business and how it helps other people, that makes me show up every single day. I don't have a problem with self-discipline because I love what I do. So maybe you lack self-discipline. Maybe you want to, or maybe you lack self-discipline in the aspect of like, man, I really always go sit on the couch and watch Netflix instead of going and doing my follow-ups. So maybe you just start doing your follow-ups while you're watching Netflix. Like, think about these things in details, not just you lack discipline, but where in your business do you lack discipline at? How can you develop it? Why do you need to develop it? Those are the things you need to write down. It needs to be very, very detailed. Because if you don't know the exact area in your business that you need to work on, there's no way that you can develop in that area. So you need to know where you lack discipline, why you lack discipline, why you need to develop it, and how you can develop it. So the next one, you may want to be more consistent. And that's another one that is huge. A lot of people are not consistent. A lot of people don't show up every day and do the things they know they're supposed to do. A lot of people don't post on social media every single day when they know that that's how they're trying to grow their business. You can't do that. It doesn't work that way. You have to show up every day. A lot of people don't have consistent join conversations, and then they expect somebody to join. It doesn't work that way. A lot of people will build relationships with people online, but then they don't share their lifestyle and their story and inspiration and stuff like that to where people can actually get to know them on social media, or they don't share their business every day. So nobody knows that they even sell Scentsy. So they may be building that relationship with new contacts, but those new contacts don't know you sell Scentsy if you're not sharing that every day consistently. So there's a lot of detailed areas that you can figure out that you need to work on as far as consistency. Maybe you want to get organized. I know with a lot of people, that's something that you feel like you need to work on. I know Shauna Baggett, she used to be very unorganized, and she always says she's still unorganized, but like there's certain aspects of her business that she finally realized that she had to get organized. So there's a lot of things for organization in your business. There's organization can be so many things. Like it can be making sure you have all of your samples done for the next 2 months or the next month. I do all of my bulk samples for a month. I do all of my bulk mail for a month. I do everything in bulk. And maybe you're not organized in that aspect, or maybe you're not organized in the aspect of maybe you don't have things like within reach where it's quick for you to get things done. And so it takes you twice as long to do a work task because you don't have things readily available to you. Maybe you don't have bag parties made ahead of time. So when somebody wants to host a bag party, you're scrambling trying to put one together. Things like that. It can be a lot of things. It can be systems. It can be a lot. So really think about in detail what it is. Maybe you need to stop procrastinating. Anybody else procrastinator? That's me. Consistency. So Michelle said consistency, showing up on social media, connecting with people on the daily. I'm shifting to using Google Calendar and having those as daily tasks. Okay, we got some procrastinators in the house. Let's see, organization. Bonnie said organization. Cassie said organization. Chelsea said consistency. So, once y'all are identifying these things, time, organization, consistency. Alicia said self-discipline, always putting things off and then never getting around to it and make excuses for myself. See, and you have identified that. So many people would deny that. And I feel like leaders are the worst at that, the worst. So you identified that and you were willing to tell the truth to yourself and say, wow, like I need to swallow this pill and accept that I don't have the self-discipline that I need to work on it. So Heather said consistency for myself. So there's a lot of things and each one has details. So just make sure you really figure out the details on what you need to work on. Like I said earlier, maybe you're threatened by other great leaders or you're intimidated by them, or you feel like you can never be that great of a leader, or you compare yourself, and every single one of us compares ourselves. Every single one of us, we're women, we do that. That's what we do. But you can get better at that because I've done it. I know I've done it. I struggle with comparison all the time. But I have trained my mind to be aware of that and know, like, okay, you're sitting here comparing yourself. Stop. Switch your mindset. And yes, it is. Comparison is the thief of joy. I used to be a very negative person. So I'll tell y'all that in a minute because I've got that listed out. But something else you may be struggling with, maybe you're not empowering other people. Maybe you're not like being intentional about empowering your team members. Like they went live for the first time and you're not recognizing that, or they, not just the big things like they earned shooting star or they earned a promotion. Maybe they got their first order. That is a huge deal to a new consultant. I remember my first order, and I joined 7 years ago, but I remember that first PWS order coming in. I remember exactly who it was from. I remember what she ordered, and I can't even remember what happened yesterday. Like, my memory is real bad, but I remember that because it was important to me. So you need to empower your team members, no matter how big or small. If they do something out of their comfort zone, if they go live and it's something they've been terrified to do, make sure they know that you're proud of them for that. Empower them, tell them what they're doing amazing at. If they message you and say, oh my gosh, I booked 3 parties today, ask them to share that on your team page. Ask them to go live and do a training on what they did. Ask them to share the things that they're having success in, because that empowers them. And that is so, so, so important. And I did not do that for a very long time. I didn't realize the importance of it, but when I started doing it, I started seeing a huge difference. Because it just makes people happy. Like it creates a sticky culture where they feel loved and valued, and they may step into a leadership role a lot easier. They may be a lot more willing to do something that scares them because they know that you believe in them, that you're proud of them, that you're watching them. And it helps them to believe in themselves. Michelle said, hello, my name is Michelle and I'm a recovering comparer. Yes. So I'm a recovering people pleaser. Nice to meet you. But some of the things that I have struggled with over time and been able to fix because I have done these things, I have sat down, and sometimes you may need to talk to your spouse about it because they'll see things in you that you don't see, and you need to be willing to hear that from them. You need to be willing to hear the hard things from them. You need to be willing to hear the fact that you spend more time working your business than you spend with them, or that you have your face in your phone all the time when you should be paying attention to your kid. Like, you've got to be willing to hear the hard things, because we love our job and we're very passionate about what we do. And it's very easy to get caught up in cincy everything and forget about the real important things in life. Yes, boundaries. And again, that's a whole nother training. I'm pretty sure I've done a training on that. But some of the things that I've struggled with over time and fixed: comparison. I already told y'all that. Negativity. Would you believe that when I joined, I was like the most negative person you'd ever meet? Like, ever. And I know where it stemmed from, because the people you surround yourself with is who you are. You are going to become you're a direct reflection of the top 5 people you surround yourself with. So when you have the wrong people in your circle, and those are the people you're surrounding yourself with every single day and allowing to feed into you, that's who you're going to become. You're going to start thinking like them. They're going to bring you down. You gotta be able to level up, and you're only going to do that with the right people in your circle. So I also struggled with control. And when I identified that I struggled with control, my business just something beautiful happened. Like, I don't even know. Like, I thought I had to do every single training myself. I thought that I had to do everything myself. I'm a control freak. I know that. So I thought that I needed to have full control of everything, and that it was my way or no way. And that, I just thought that it was just the Morgan show, I guess. And that's not like out of selfishness. It's out of I care so much. And I just feel like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I struggled with control. And once I started giving up some of that control and letting others lead and letting others do some trainings and letting others share their knowledge, that is powerful. Brittany said, number one thing I found is asking your leaders or people who are working their business to go live when they work on your team page. It gets people on your team fired up anytime. Yes, that inspires people. like when they see somebody go live and showing what they're doing, they're like, ooh, let me go do that. Like if they were just like sitting on the couch struggling with life that day and they just weren't inspired in their business, they didn't know what to do or whatever, that's going to inspire them when they see that. Anytime I see a teamie post something good on their personal page, I ask them to share on the team page. Yeah, like watch what your team is posting on their personal pages. I'm not asking you to watch their live videos and all that. We don't have time to do that. I've had people that are like, can you watch my live video? And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I literally don't have time to watch your live video. But congrats on doing a live video. That's awesome. So, you can tell them, congrats, it's amazing. Or pop on there and say, hey, just say, hey, and then pop off and go on about your business. But empower your team, ask them to share things. If they're I just did it yesterday. One of my frontline had texted me about a fundraiser idea that she had I guess she had heard it from somebody else, but it was a fundraising idea that she was going to do. And I was like, please share that on our team page, because it's awesome. You can't be the only leader. You have to inspire other people to lead. You can't do it all by yourself. Trust me. So connection was something else I struggled with, and I still struggle with, but I've gotten a lot better at it this year because I've been intentional about it. I have made sure that I have trained and trained and trained and trained on connection. So and it kind of hit me after a little while of slacking off on it when I started seeing the effects of that in my business. So usually your business is, if you're struggling right now, if you're seeing like, oh, my PRV has been sucking, my recruiting has been sucking, it's probably a direct reflection of how you were working your business like 60 days ago. So usually 60 days, your business works in like 60-day cycles. So sometimes it'll just hit you out of nowhere and you're like, what? Get over here. Come on. Where's our dog? Right here. I swear, y'all, I don't ever put their collars on before these trainings. I always forget. Okay. So where was I at? Connection. So I've been very intentional with connection. I've been making sure that I'm doing the things needed to connect with my customers, with even like gaining new contacts. So like on Instagram, when people are following me, or when people comment on a reel, or they like a reel, or whatever, I'm really bad about focusing a lot on sharing content, but not focusing on, I need to reach out to these people who are interacting with my content and building a relationship with them, thanking them for liking it, telling them that I'm so happy that they enjoy it, and really start to actually talk to them and get to know them. Come here. Ooh, is that, what package is that? Okay, I'm not sure why that's not working. Oh well. So, and then the other one that I struggled with was listening, because like I said, I don't know if it's the control freak in me or just the passion. And like, when you have a passion for something, you just want to talk about it. You just want to talk. Like if you love your business and it is changing your life, you just want to tell everybody all the things. You want to tell them, oh my gosh, I quit my job and I go on all of these free vacations, and my husband doesn't even work anymore, and I'm able to put my son in this school because, like, calm down. We know you're excited. It's just, I struggled with talking way too much and not listening enough. And when you really start listening more, it makes all the difference. Hold on, let me read these. So not speaking badly wait a minute, where did I leave off? Not speaking badly or anything of that nature. I love my sponsor and my director, but I don't feel like I get enough training or Cincy education from them. It's almost rare they post anything on our team pages. I honestly get more training and advice and suggestions and education from our leader group and magnificent group. What can I do to help out? Or let them know we need it as part of their team. What can you do to help out, like on their team page to, is that what you're saying? Or ask them like to,
like, it's hard for me to even contact them. Like, it's almost like I'll contact them and they're almost like ghosts to me. Not in a bad way. They'll read it or they won't say nothing back, and it is legitimate questions. A lot of times I have to go to you about it, and I know I should go to my sponsor and then director and then, work my way up chain of command type thing.
Well, if your sponsor and director's MIA, then.
And I understand. I totally understand that, life happens. I know one just got a job, one just had a baby. I totally understand it. Trust me, I had 3 girls of my own. I lost my job too, but it's just when I need help, I don't want to keep going to you. I want them to know that I'm looking up to them too, wanting to know how they're successful, wanting to know how they got to where they are. But I'm at a loss. We have team pages, but maybe 1 or 2 posts every 2 weeks or a monthly. I'm lost.
Do you have your own team page?
I do not personally, no.
I would create your own team page for sure, because you clearly want a certain culture for your team and you want to help them out and you want to have resources and, all that stuff. So that to me is where you need to create your own team page. I mean, y'all should all have your own team page regardless anyway. So if you don't, that needs to be on top of your list, because you need to start, establishing yourself as the leader and stepping into that leadership role and believing that you are an awesome leader and leading your team the way you want them led. Like maybe you take that and say, this is what I didn't have, so this is what I'm going to do for my team. Like I didn't have a sponsor, so I have trained myself over the years through YouTube and reached out to people that I looked up to and, asked them for help, just like you've been doing. And that's how I've gotten to where I'm at. And I just follow successful people. So you're not always going to have a sponsor that's there or a director even that's there, which is really sad, but it happens. And it's a kind of a hard situation sometimes, but I really think that you should definitely create your own team page and start doing the things for them that you, I guess, wish you would have had. And they're on our team page anyway. So, they have that resource, but they need you as their leader too, to look up to, and like because you're going to have your own leadership style and you're going to have your own mission and your own culture that you want for your team. And it's just important to go ahead and establish yourself as their direct leader, because if not, you're going to end up promoting to director and they're going to be like, they're not going to take you as seriously as their director if they haven't already started seeing you as their leader. They're going to still want to come to me or whoever, like their upline, because they're not going to, you don't want that to happen. It's happened a lot to a lot of people, and it's because they didn't go ahead and start their team page early. They didn't go ahead and start trainings early. Like do the things a director does. Really start doing the things a director does. Train your team, share something with them that you're doing in your business to teach them how to do it. Share a video with them, like something you found on YouTube that was helpful. All those things. Heather said you have to listen to understand rather than listen to respond. Yes. Yeah, that's really good. Okay, let's see. I know, I said sometimes it'll hit you out of nowhere and then bam, the dogs freak out. Honestly, like, again, if you don't have, if your sponsor and director are not willing to help you, you can't make them help you. That's a them problem. That's a their business problem. That's a their leadership problem. And I hope they're on this call. Or I hope they listen to it. So hold on, my husband's about to leave. Tell him bye. Should I watch that? Should I watch that? Okay. Does anybody else want to share anything, like any areas that you realize that you need to develop more, and like maybe tell a story about it, or somebody who has overcome a struggle and how it has helped your business? We're gonna put a positive leadership affirmation on our mirror. And the one thing that you struggle with the most, I want you to put a positive affirmation on your mirror. So if it is, if you're always telling yourself that I'm not good enough, or I'm not a good enough leader, it needs to be like, I am worthy, I am good enough, I am enough, I'm, whatever it is that you need to hear to get out of that negative mindset, you need to put it on your mirror where you can see it every single day. And it's not just going on your mirror to where you can see it every day. It's going on your mirror so that you can repeat it to yourself every day. Like, look in the mirror, look at yourself, repeat those positive affirmations to yourself every single day. Consistently. Consistency is key. You do that every single day, you're eventually going to believe it. So I would love to see whatever in the chat. I think most of you have commented and said what area you're going to work on. But I would love to know, like, exactly, like, for example, Jessica said time organization, like what exactly you need to work on in that area, how you're going to work on it, like what are you going to do to develop that trait, why do you need to develop it, like know all those things in detail so that you can really develop that skill and work on it. And I think something that would be cool to do is, after y'all put your leadership affirmation on your mirror, take a picture of it, post it on our leadership page. I think that would be cool. I don't know how many of you saw the other day my post that said you have to put in the hard hours to create, or what, hustle during the hard hours to create the easy hours. And I guess that's what I want to leave y'all with, because it's not easy doing what we're doing, but it's good work. It is changing the world, and you need to know that you're changing the world, because you are. Some of you may not realize that yet, but you are, and you're going to, and every single one of you has no reason that you can't be at the top of this company. You have no reason why you can't build a beautiful life for your family and have every single thing you ever dreamed of. Why am I choking up? Calm down. But you really do have to put in the hard hours to create the easy hours. If you want to get to a point where you can do this full time, and like I said the other day, I work 30 hours a week at most, and I make a 6-figure salary. So if you want to be able to get to that point, you've got to work during the hard hours. You've got to do the hard things, because that's what so many people will look at people like me and think that, oh, well, it was easy for them, or, oh, well, they don't think about the journey that it took to get here, and all the hard work it took to get here, and all the late nights it took to get here. And even still, I get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I don't have to do that, but I do that because I have the self-discipline. And I know that if I don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and take care of myself and get my workout in before my crazy wakes up, then I'm going to be irritable, and I'm going to be in a negative, bad mindset as soon as I start my day. So I have to make sure that I do that. And that's not easy. It's hard to get up at 6 o'clock in the mornings. I did not want to get up this morning. I did not want to get up yesterday morning because I went to bed at like midnight and was sleepy this morning when my alarm went off. But I knew that I had to get up and at least do something. So the consistency. Okay, so Chelsea said the consistency on my part is I need to start posting more personal stuff about life, not just my business. Yes, very, very, very important. I just realized, where did my husband just even go? I don't even know where he just went. Anyway, squirrel. Okay, so let's see. You said I've never really did it before I started Scentsy, so I need to work on it. That way people start learning more about me and not just my business. That is so important. So important. Like nobody wants to buy Scentsy from a salesperson. Like the less you try to sell something, the more people are going to want to buy it. You need to be selling yourself, like your personality and your passions and the things that you love. That is what you need to be selling to people. And the fact that you care about them and help them feel valued. And when you're not trying to sell them something, they're going to buy from you. It's the weirdest thing, but it's true. And that's why social media is so effective if you do it right, because it's called social media for a reason. It's social. You need to be social with people. You need to interact with people. And, once you establish those good connections and trust and relationships with people, if you're doing it right, they're going to also see that you sell Scentsy. And they're going to be like, oh, well, I trust this girl. She's cool. Like, I really like her. She, she's a boy mom too. And because I've been talking to her and she's been commenting on my posts. So clearly she cares about me. And like, people want attention. They want attention. So when they feel that, they're going to say, oh, well, she sells this and she loves it. So why don't I buy that from her? Need to be consistent with posting in general and being consistent with reels. Y'all, if you're consistent with reels, it's going to change your Instagram. I'm telling you, it's a game changer. If you're doing it right. If you're using plenty of hashtags, if you're using trending sounds, so like go through reels at night and just watch people's reels and save the sounds that people are using. If you're using like trending sounds, you're using plenty of hashtags. If you're really sticking with like one area of life or whatever that you want to reach out to people in. So like if it's other moms, or if it's boy moms in specific, or if it's people who love whatever it is that you love, or if it's army wives, if you're an army wife, like whatever it is, stick with that one area and try to reach a large amount of people in that area. First, like start there. But if you're doing it right, reels will seriously change the game. And if your profile is not public, make it public, because it's literally pointless to have social media for your business if it's not public, because you have no way to reach other people if it's not public. There are over 300,000 of us consultants out there, plus the option of going to Scentsy.com. So people will be drawn to you as an individual. Yes, they can buy Scentsy from anybody. They can go online and buy Scentsy, but give them a reason to buy from you. Cassidy, I don't do anything either. I'm so boring. Like, I'm literally at home all day, every day. Share what you're cooking. Share what you're share when you're cleaning. Like, a lot of people like to watch cleaning videos. I'm just saying, because it motivates people. I like to watch cleaning videos. Maybe I'm weird, but no, I'm not the only one. Oh my gosh, so many comments. So many comments. See, if you love Brittany handwriting videos, yes, if you love cleaning videos, then you probably love to also share cleaning videos. So share cleaning videos. How do you keep a good contact with people that are sent to you that you have no daily contact with? Explain more. Like, oh, like since he sends you people in your area, but they don't have social media or text. There's people who don't text. I didn't know that. Email them. Do you email people that don't text? I text everybody. or some people will respond better to Facebook or Instagram messages, which I think is so weird. Like people will not check their texts, but they'll message you back on Messenger all day long. Oh, home number. Okay, that makes sense. Maybe you have older, I don't know, maybe you have older customers. I feel like hardly any of my customers even have a home phone. Maybe that's just because I don't have a home phone. But yeah, I guess I would email them. I mean, that's the only way you have communication with them. So, and make sure you send them snail mail for sure too. Oh yeah, those 60 to 90-year-olds, maybe you just send them snail mail because they may not even know how to check their email. Oh yeah, and pick up the phone and call them. Yeah, duh. Do that. I forgot that was a thing. You call me on my phone, I'm gonna be like, act like I don't see it. Yeah, do mail, talk to him on the phone. No, that's how they communicate. They talk on the phone. Like grandmothers call you and want to talk for like 2 hours. So be careful though, they might want to talk to you for 2 hours, but I would definitely call them. I mean, you got to have some kind of contact with them. So yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, Bonnie. I don't have like any customers that I have to communicate with that way. So I didn't even think of that. All right, y'all. Well, this has been long, but I hope that it helped and y'all have homework to do. So make sure when you do your little positive affirmations and plaster them on your mirror, even I don't care if it's 1 or 10, like maybe you need to put 10 things on there, but post a picture of it on our leader page. I think that'll be cool. But thank y'all for being on. I love y'all and let's go lead ourselves so that we can lead our teams.